In today's video, we'll walk through some of the most commonly asked questions in DevOps interviews, covering a wide range of essential topics. We'll break down each question into clear and detailed answers, helping you feel confident and prepared for your next interview. Throughout this video, we'll explore self-related questions, where you'll learn how to effectively communicate your experience, handle stress, and showcase your adaptability in DevOps environments. Linux commands, essential for any DevOps role. We'll dive into cron jobs, aliases, SSH port forwarding, and more. Networking in DevOps. We'll address key challenges like network security, load balancing, and configuring containerized applications. Git fundamentals. You'll discover how to manage branching, resolve merge conflicts, and effectively use Git for version control. Cloud computing. We'll discuss cloud services, disaster recovery, VPCs, and key AWS concepts that are critical to any DevOps pipeline. Infrastructure as code. A look into how tools like Terraform and Ansible play a crucial role in modern infrastructure management. Containers and CI/CD. You'll learn how to manage containers, automate pipelines, and streamline testing and deployment. Production deployment and scaling. We'll share strategies like blue-green and canary deployments, along with tips for scaling services in production environments. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in the field for years, this video will provide valuable insights to help you excel in your DevOps interview. I'm Jasmine, and this channel is all about showing you how to become a highly paid cybersecurity, ethical hacking, or cloud pro fast. We'll begin with self-related questions, focusing on your experience and adaptability in DevOps roles. 1. Can you walk me through your resume and summarize your experience in DevOps? I have X years of experience in DevOps, where I've worked across various projects that involve automating CI/CD pipelines, managing cloud infrastructure, and deploying applications using containerization tools like Docker and Kubernetes. My primary focus has been on automating workflows, reducing manual interventions, and optimizing system performance using infrastructure as code tools, such as Terraform and Ansible. I also have hands-on experience with cloud platforms like AWS and Azure, ensuring high availability and scalability of applications. 2. How do you handle tight deadlines and stress in your role? Handling tight deadlines and stress requires effective time management and prioritization. I use project management tools like Jira or Trello to keep track of tasks and milestones. When faced with tight deadlines, I break larger tasks into smaller, manageable goals, focusing on the most critical areas first. Automation plays a crucial role in reducing repetitive work, and this allows me to concentrate on solving high-impact problems. To manage stress, I ensure consistent communication with my team and practice a proactive approach to identifying and mitigating risks early. 3. Have you had any experience with team leadership or architecture in your DevOps role? Yes, I have taken on leadership roles in smaller teams, where I mentored junior engineers and helped guide them through setting up CI/CD pipelines and infrastructure automation. I also collaborated with the architecture team to design and implement scalable and resilient infrastructures for microservices-based applications. My role involved leading architectural discussions, setting up best practices, and ensuring that the solutions aligned with business goals. 4. Can you describe your experience with programming and scripting languages used in DevOps? I am proficient in various scripting languages commonly used in DevOps, such as Bash, Python, and Groovy. I use Bash for writing automation scripts and managing Linux-based systems, Python for developing more complex automation scripts and integrations, and Groovy for configuring Jenkins pipelines. I have also worked with other tools like YAML and JSON for managing configurations in infrastructure as code and orchestration tools like Docker and Kubernetes. 5. How quickly can you learn new tools and technologies and adapt to a new environment? As a DevOps engineer, adaptability is key. I have always been quick to learn new tools and technologies, largely due to my solid foundational knowledge of cloud infrastructure, automation, and scripting. I regularly stay updated on industry trends and am comfortable working in new environments by leveraging documentation, community resources, and hands-on practice. I have successfully picked up tools like Docker, Kubernetes, and Terraform in a short amount of time, adapting to various production environments. Next, we'll cover Linux questions for daily DevOps tasks. 6. How do you view and manage cron jobs in Linux? To view cron jobs for a specific user, you can use the command crontab-l. This will display all the scheduled tasks that are set to run at specified times. To manage cron jobs, you can use crontab-e, which allows you to edit the crontab file and add or remove tasks. Cron jobs are widely used for automating repetitive tasks, such as backups or maintenance scripts. 7. What are aliases in Linux and how are they used? Aliases in Linux are shortcuts for commands or sequences of commands. You can define an alias to save time and reduce the chance of errors when typing frequently used commands. For example, you can create an alias ll is equal to ls-la, to quickly list all files in a directory with detailed information. Aliases are generally defined in shell configuration files like .bashrc or .zshrc. 8. Can you explain SSH port forwarding and its uses? SSH port forwarding, also known as SSH tunneling, is a method of securely forwarding traffic from one network port to another using SSH. This can be used to access services behind a firewall or in a remote network. There are two types: local port forwarding, which forwards traffic from a local port to a remote server, and remote port forwarding, which allows external machines to access services running on your local machine. 9. What is a zombie process and how do you handle it? A zombie process is a process that has completed execution but still has an entry in the process table. It happens when the parent process hasn't read the exit status of the child process, leaving it as a zombie. To handle a zombie process, you can identify the parent process using the ps command and either kill or restart the parent process to clear the zombie process. 10. How do you identify and manage the top CPU-consuming processes? To identify the top CPU-consuming processes, you can use commands like top or htop. These commands display a list of running processes along with their CPU usage, memory usage, and other important metrics. To manage or kill high CPU processes, you can use the kill command followed by the process ID. If the process doesn't terminate with a standard kill signal, you can force kill it using kill-9. Now we will dive into DevOps networking questions, focusing on challenges and security. 11. What are the common networking challenges you face in a DevOps environment? Common networking challenges in a DevOps environment include managing latency, ensuring secure communication between services, handling network bottlenecks, and maintaining consistent configurations across multiple environments. Additionally, scaling network resources to handle large volumes of traffic and securing APIs are typical challenges. 12. How do you manage network security within a DevOps pipeline? Network security is managed by implementing secure communication protocols like HTTPS, using firewall rules to restrict access, and ensuring that sensitive data is encrypted at rest and in transit. In a CI/CD pipeline, secrets management tools like Vault or AWS Secrets Manager are used to store sensitive credentials. Regular security audits and automated vulnerability scanning are also part of maintaining a secure pipeline. 13. Can you explain the role of load balancing in a DevOps setup? Load balancing plays a crucial role in distributing incoming traffic across multiple servers to ensure no single server is overwhelmed. This helps in improving the availability and reliability of services. In a DevOps environment, load balancers are often used in conjunction with auto-scaling groups to dynamically adjust the number of servers based on demand. 14. How do you configure network settings for containerized applications? Network settings for containerized applications are usually managed through container orchestration platforms like Kubernetes. You can define services that expose containers to the network, manage internal communication through service discovery, and set up ingress controllers for routing external traffic to the containers. Tools like Docker also provide networking options like bridge, host, and overlay networks for managing container connectivity. Next up are Git interview questions. 15. What is the purpose of branching in Git? Branching in Git allows developers to work on different features or bug fixes independently of the main codebase. Each branch can be developed and tested without affecting the main branch, often called master or main. Once the work is complete, the branch can be merged back into the main branch, ensuring isolated changes and easier collaboration. 16. How do you resolve merge conflicts in Git? Merge conflicts occur when two or more developers modify the same lines of code in different branches. To resolve a merge conflict, you need to open the conflicting file, manually decide which changes to keep, and then mark the conflict as resolved using git add. Finally, you commit the changes to complete the merge process. 17. What is the difference between git pull and git fetch? Git fetch downloads the latest changes from the remote repository but does not automatically merge them into your current branch. You can review the changes before merging. On the other hand, git pull both fetches the changes and merges them into your current branch in one step. 18. How do you use Git tags for versioning? Git tags are used to mark specific points in the Git history, often for releases or milestones. For example, you might tag a commit as v1.0 to indicate a release version. Tags can be lightweight or annotated, with annotated tags containing additional metadata like release notes. Cloud computing questions about managing cloud infrastructure. 19. What are the key benefits of using cloud services? The key benefits of cloud services include scalability, cost efficiency, flexibility, and high availability. Cloud platforms allow you to scale resources on demand, only paying for what you use. Additionally, cloud services offer automated backups, disaster recovery options, and the ability to deploy applications across multiple geographic regions for better performance and redundancy. 20. How do you manage cloud resources efficiently? Managing cloud resources efficiently involves using auto-scaling to adjust resource allocation based on demand, employing monitoring tools like CloudWatch or Prometheus to track performance, and using cost management tools to optimize resource usage. Infrastructure as code tools like Terraform help in automating the provisioning and deprovisioning of resources, reducing waste. 21. What is the difference between IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS? IaaS provides virtualized computing resources like servers, storage, and networking. PaaS offers a platform for developing, running, and managing applications without the complexity of building and maintaining infrastructure. SaaS delivers software applications over the internet, which can be accessed via a browser without installation. 22. How do you ensure high availability and disaster recovery in the cloud? High availability is ensured by deploying applications across multiple availability zones or regions, using auto-scaling and load balancing to manage traffic. Disaster recovery involves regularly backing up data, setting up failover mechanisms, and using disaster recovery services provided by cloud platforms such as AWS Backup or Azure Site Recovery to minimize downtime. 23. What is a VPC and its purpose in AWS? A VPC is a logically isolated section of AWS where you can define your own network settings, such as IP ranges, subnets, and route tables. It allows you to control the networking environment, ensuring secure and private communication between your AWS resources and the internet or your on-premises network. 24. What is the difference between public and private subnets in AWS? A public subnet is a subnet that has direct access to the internet through an internet gateway. It is typically used for resources that need to be publicly accessible, like web servers. A private subnet, on the other hand, does not have direct internet access and is used for resources that should remain isolated from the public internet, such as databases or back-end services. 25. What are reserved instances and how do they differ from spot instances? Reserved instances allow you to purchase computing capacity in advance at a discounted rate for a specific term. Spot instances offer unused computing capacity at a lower price, but can be terminated by AWS if the capacity is no longer available. Reserved instances are ideal for predictable workloads, while spot instances are best for flexible workloads. 26. How does AWS CloudFormation help in infrastructure management? AWS CloudFormation allows you to manage infrastructure as code by defining AWS resources in templates. This enables you to provision, update, or delete resources automatically, ensuring consistency across environments. CloudFormation helps automate resource management and reduces the risk of configuration drift. 27. Have you used Route 53 and what for? Yes, I have used Route 53 primarily for managing DNS settings. Route 53 allows you to route traffic to various AWS services or external resources and ensures high availability through its global infrastructure. It can also be used for health checking and domain registration. Now let's jump to infrastructure as code questions on tools like Terraform and Ansible. 28. What is the purpose of a state file in Terraform? The state file in Terraform keeps track of the current state of your infrastructure. It helps Terraform understand the resources it manages and detect changes that need to be applied. The state file ensures that infrastructure changes are tracked and applied consistently. 29. How do you manage infrastructure changes using tools like Terraform? Infrastructure changes in Terraform are managed by writing or updating configuration files, which define the desired state of resources. You then run commands like Terraform plan to preview changes and Terraform apply to execute those changes. Version control systems like Git can be used to track configuration changes. 30. What are the benefits of using configuration management tools like Ansible? Ansible automates the configuration and management of systems, ensuring consistency across environments. It reduces manual intervention by automating tasks like installing packages, configuring servers, and deploying applications. Ansible's declarative language and agentless architecture make it easy to use and integrate with CI/CD pipelines. 31. How do you handle secret management in an IAC setup? In an IAC setup, secret management is typically handled using tools like HashiCorp Vault, AWS Secrets Manager, or Azure Key Vault. These tools securely store and manage sensitive information like passwords, API keys, and certificates. Secrets are integrated into the automation workflow without hard coding them into configuration files, ensuring security and compliance. All right, now time to move into containers questions about Docker and Kubernetes. 32. What is the difference between virtualization and containerization? Virtualization involves creating multiple virtual machines, each with its own operating system, on a single physical machine. Containerization, on the other hand, shares the host operating system but isolates applications in lightweight containers. Containers are more efficient and portable compared to VMs, making them ideal for microservices architecture. 33. How does Docker improve application deployment? Docker improves application deployment by packaging applications and their dependencies into a container. This ensures that the application runs consistently across different environments, eliminating the "it works on my machine" problem. Docker also simplifies the deployment process by allowing containers to be easily deployed and scaled across various infrastructures. 34. What is a Docker file and how is it used to create Docker images? A Docker file is a text file that contains a series of instructions used to create a Docker image. It specifies the base image, dependencies, environment variables, and commands needed to run the application. By running the Docker build command, Docker creates an image based on the instructions in the Docker file. 35. How do you manage and orchestrate multiple containers? To manage and orchestrate multiple containers, tools like Kubernetes or Docker Swarm are used. Kubernetes provides features like scaling, load balancing, and self-healing to manage containerized applications at scale. It automates the deployment, scaling, and operation of containers across a cluster of machines. CI/CD questions for automating pipelines. 36. What is continuous integration and continuous deployment? Continuous integration is the practice of merging code changes into a shared repository frequently, followed by automated testing to ensure the code is working as expected. Continuous deployment extends this process by automatically deploying changes to production once they pass the required tests, ensuring faster delivery of features. 37. What are the common tools used for CI/CD? Some common CI/CD tools include Jenkins, GitLab CI, Travis CI, Circle CI, and Bamboo. Jenkins is one of the most widely used tools for automating builds, testing, and deployments, while GitLab CI is integrated with GitLab for seamless version control and CI/CD automation. 38. Can you explain the typical workflow of a CI/CD pipeline? A typical CI/CD pipeline starts with developers committing code to a version control system like Git. This triggers the pipeline, which includes steps like compiling code, running automated tests, and building Docker images. Once the tests pass, the pipeline moves to the deployment phase, where the application is automatically deployed to staging or production environments. 39. How do you automate testing and deployment in a CI/CD process? Automation in CI/CD is achieved through scripts and tools like Jenkins or GitLab CI. Automated testing is integrated into the pipeline to run unit, integration, and end-to-end tests on every code change. Deployment is automated by defining deployment scripts or using infrastructure as code tools like Terraform, Ansible, or Kubernetes for consistent and repeatable deployments. 40. What Jenkins plugins have you used and for what purposes? I have used several Jenkins plugins, including Git plugin for integrating Jenkins with Git repositories, Pipeline plugin to define and automate complex pipelines as code, Docker plugin to automate the building and deployment of Docker containers, JUnit plugin to publish test results from JUnit tests. These plugins help in integrating different tools and streamlining the CI/CD process. Production deployment interview questions. 41. What is a staging environment and how does it differ from a production environment? A staging environment is a replica of the production environment where new features and changes are tested before they are deployed to production. While the production environment is live and customer-facing, the staging environment is used for final testing to ensure everything works as expected without impacting users. 42. What is blue-green deployment and how does it work? Blue-green deployment is a technique where two identical production environments, blue and green, are maintained. The blue environment is live, while the green environment is used for testing new updates. Once the updates are tested and validated, traffic is switched to the green environment, making it live, while the blue environment can be used for future updates. 43. What is canary deployment and when would you use it? Canary deployment is a strategy where new code changes are deployed to a small subset of users before rolling out to the entire user base. This allows you to test the new changes in production with minimal impact and roll them back quickly if any issues arise. It is commonly used for gradual feature releases. 44. How do you handle scaling and rollback during a production deployment? Scaling during a production deployment is typically managed using auto-scaling groups, which automatically adjust the number of servers based on traffic. For rollback, I ensure that all deployments are version controlled, and I use tools like Kubernetes or AWS Elastic Beanstalk to quickly revert to the previous stable version in case of issues. 45. What are some common challenges you have faced during a deployment? Some common challenges include downtime during deployment, mitigated using blue-green or canary deployments. Configuration mismatches between environments, resolved by using configuration management tools like Ansible or Consul. Unexpected bugs in production, reduced by thorough testing and automated monitoring. Scaling issues, handled using load balancing and auto-scaling groups. 46. What is your disaster recovery strategy in case of a live website outage? My DR strategy involves regular backups, failover mechanisms, and deploying applications across multiple data centers or regions. I use tools like AWS Route 53 for failover routing and ensure that automated backup and recovery processes are in place. Monitoring tools like Prometheus or CloudWatch provide real-time alerts for faster response. 47. How do you scale a production web service? Scaling a production web service is achieved by using horizontal or vertical scaling techniques. Horizontal scaling involves adding more servers to handle increased traffic, while vertical scaling increases the resources of existing servers. Tools like Kubernetes or AWS autoscaling can automatically scale services based on demand. Load balancers are used to distribute traffic evenly across the scaled instances. Remember, it's not just about having the right answers, but really understanding the ideas and being able to explain how you think through them. As you prepare for your interview, here are a few final tips to follow. Practice hands-on. Set up your own CI/CD pipelines, work with cloud infrastructure, and use tools like Git, Docker, and Kubernetes to strengthen your practical skills. Stay updated. DevOps is an ever-evolving field, so make sure you're familiar with the latest tools, trends, and best practices. Showcase your problem-solving ability. Interviewers want to see how you approach challenges, so emphasize your analytical thinking and how you handle complex scenarios. Be honest about your experience. If there's something you don't know, admit it, but show your willingness to learn and adapt quickly. Follow up. After the interview, consider sending a thank you note and asking for feedback to show your professionalism and eagerness to improve. Thank you for watching this detailed walkthrough of DevOps interview questions and answers. I hope this has given you the clarity and confidence you need to tackle your upcoming interviews. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful videos. Check out the video on the right for more content to help you develop your IT career.